Let's go ahead and don't forget follow, subscribe. Round number 2. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We're talking LONS versus FU-SCHNICKENS. I wanted to talk about something that's sort of the obvious when it comes to both of these groups, but I want to respectfully talk about this particular topic about the entire groups. I know we can narrow this down to particular people. We know this, but we're talking about the entire group. So you can use that whichever way you want to. But let's go ahead and talk about round number 2. We're talking about whose delivery and style was better. Both groups had a very distinctive style. They were not the same. They, however, had a few similarities. The fact that they were groups, obviously, for one. There's still a Brooklyn relation as far as half that group being concerned. For example, Busta Rhymes being from Brooklyn. Milo from the group is also apparently from Brooklyn, I think, as well. Which, by the way, I wanted to bring this up too. Skin, Milo produced Case of the PTA. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Really? I didn't know that one.
That's crazy, right? He was young when he did that shit. Like,
wow, I did not know that.
Yes. And his producer name is kind of cool too. It was Cut Monitor Milo.
Monitor Milo, nice.
Cut Monitor Milo.
Cut Monitor Milo. Oh, that's kind of fly.
Monitor Milo. That shit was fly. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of fly.
So again, we're talking about distinctive styles. I think both groups, specifically, I think more on the LONS side, for example, had a tendency to sound something sort of they gave me like that old school kind of vibe from time to time, where they could kind of sort of be referred to back, you know, to the Grandmaster Flash kind of era, the Treacherous 3 kind of era of that chiming choruses and kind of stuff like that. They could kind of stand out at a time when hip hop was still even growing again, but that throwback is awesome that they connected on that. It sounded really good that way. And FU-SCHNICKENS did similarly as well. They kind of chimed in on each other's sort of choruses and
yeah, they did.
And another little bit of research I found, you know, in style and delivery that was kind of interesting today was, I want to go as far as saying I think FU-SCHNICKENS, FU, right? That's like the Fu, Chip Fu, Pac Fu, and respectfully, I can't remember the third member, but they started using like the 5 in the afternoon, you know, Chinese fighting movies samples kind of. Before the Wu.
Before the Wu.
The Fu before the Wu.
I feel somehow a way that's a shot. I don't know.
I feel that it's a clip. I feel like it's a
definitely was a shot.
I just know Jules throwing shots. If y'all haven't recognized this by now, those
Wu versus the Wu
at me.
Hey, listen. Hobo, he smacked your hat off your head and handed it back to you.
I took his bandana. I took his bandana off his head. I Jada Jewels him. I did.
Wow.
I took your bandana off. I threw it on the floor.
Damn.
Now listen.
So violent.
We're talking delivery. We're talking style. Again, if we want to narrow it down to this particular person, but keep an open mind. Let's talk about the entire groups. Which group had the better delivery and style? Who do you got, Charo? Third, Chris, I see you out there. Is there any chance we can get maybe a poll going? Question being, whose delivery and style is better? Guys, let's set it off. Who do you got?
I mean,
why don't we just put it like this? Let's dissect each style and see how we feel about that. Can we do that? This way there's no pressure in the room.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, let's talk about,
I feel like it was pretty similar, man. Like, I mean, other than, I think the advantage might go to FU-SCHNICKENS because of Chip Fu's fast rhyming style. You know, I mean, that was, I mean, he did that.
What about his backwards flow?
Well, that as well. Yeah.
Right.
That was insane. Let's be clear. It was like
insane.
But what about Busta Rhymes?
What about Busta Rhymes? What are you trying to say?
Busta was the star of that group. I mean, it was obvious from the first album.
And Chip Fu was a star of his group, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both the stars.
No, but I want to know what Breeze is trying to say. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that I think
Fu before the Wu.
A lot of
if you
aggression.
look at the longevity of the artist, I mean, Busta.
We're not talking longevity.
Well, we're talking about these two albums, sir. I'm going to take
two albums
right now. We're talking about these two albums.
Oh, you bring me back down to reality. Okay.
Don't make me yellow flag. Don't make me yellow flag. You do.
Well, the thing is, you got to look at Busta Rhymes too. I mean, his style for when he was coming out.
Well, let's throw this into the ring too. I think we know respectfully both of them were stars, but I'll put it out there like this. I'll start like this. I'll say, I don't know if Busta was the star, but I don't know if Chip Fu might have been a little bit hotter at the time, though. I don't know.
I think he might have been a little bit.
He might have been a little hotter at the time.
At the time, yeah, but we're talking about right now. Which one?
No, we're not
better,
talking right now.
I'm not talking about right now.
I'm not saying right now this instant.
yeah,
I'm talking about we're talking about the flow, right? I understand that Chip Fu might have been a little bit hotter than Busta Rhymes because Busta Rhymes was just at the start of his career, right? Quote unquote. But I mean, I think for me, even when I went back listening to this album, just for my reference to doing my homework today, I didn't want to listen to a whole FU-SCHNICKENS album.
I could agree.
It didn't age the way you expected.
It didn't age right. I could understand.
No, it didn't age right. Yeah, absolutely. And
I could understand.
Anyway, in the chat room feel the same way. We got a lot to address in the chat room. It's looking wild, and we talk about it.
It didn't necessarily stick to me back then, but it definitely didn't age well. I'm gonna vote Leaders of New School in this one.
I'll
put my vote out first.
Leaders on.
Yeah. I'll put my shit first, man. Leaders, man.
Yeah, so I say that to say, you know what I'm saying, LONS. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it's funny. That was literally one of the things that I realized going back and doing my homework for Each Beats and Rhymes Tonight was the first thing that stuck out to me was just listen to the FU-SCHNICKENS and listen to how all of them flowed on their album compared to Leaders of the New School. And I just enjoyed Leaders of the New School more. It was more of the party vibe, the feeling together. There was a lot of like, oh, I get it. You were trying to make sure you stood out amongst everybody when you were coming out with this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, they definitely.
I would venture to say that. I mean, we've hinted that Busta Rhymes was the star and Chip Fu was the star. I think Dinko and Milo were comparable to the other two from FU-SCHNICKENS. I'm not
That's
saying
my man Dinko did
better, but I'm gonna say I skipped songs on both albums as I did my homework for this. And not skip as in totally didn't listen, but at a certain point, I
cut tuned out.
Yeah, I cut bait.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's a classification or not, but I think Chip Fu's style was better for me than Busta's style in that moment.
I got a quick question.
Hobo, I'm sorry, Breeze, real quick. So, Hobo, your vote is FU-SCHNICKENS, correct?
Yes.
So, how many songs did you skip on the FU-SCHNICKENS album as opposed to how many songs you skipped on the Leaders of the New School album?
Well, that's not quite fair because the Leaders of the New School album is 20 songs and FU-SCHNICKENS was 10. So if you
actually it was 10.
If you do that math, the ratio's on my brain.
17 tracks, right?
17, yeah. But I mean,
my bad.
7 extra tracks. It's 7, but it's 7 extra tracks.
So if you
whole EP on itself.
If you do the math that way, Breeze, I skipped more songs on the LONS.
Yeah, the percentage is going to be lower if you put in that mathematical equation.
So to answer your question.
Oh, my question.
I ain't doing no math.
More songs on the LONS album, sir.
I saw what you did there. Okay. We know who we really wanted to pick, but it's okay.
No.
Oh,
I want to hear from somebody else. Hobo, while I'm here for the next person, see what the chat room is talking about because they have the poll and they got a whole bunch of conversation. I definitely want to miss what they say.
They are.
Who else has an opinion? I mean, we're talking two styles, excuse me, that are very distinct, but at the same time spoke for themselves.
Trip or Mastermind. Y'all want to go? If not, I'll go. I'll let y'all.
I was about to say I was leaning towards more Leaders because I felt like
leaning like you're picking them, or just
I felt like I'm picking them, but I felt like more connected to that. I felt like I don't know. I wasn't really gravitated to FU-SCHNICKENS because I felt like the name was just like it was so gimmicky to me. Like I wasn't really checking for them like that. I felt like so
the name did for you.
I'm just saying my piece. I wasn't really checking for them more. I was checking for Leaders more. It's sad. It was so sad that we couldn't keep it up as being a group, Leaders.
That's what she said. Okay, all right.
I don't think their style would have translated past the two albums that they did.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair. We don't know. I mean,
it's my opinion, sir. It's my opinion.
And
So I think Ike made a great point.
Yeah.
I think Ike made the point that, and kind of touching it together. Pause. I think Chip Fu may have been slightly hotter, but I think Ike makes the great point that going back today now, it didn't age well. And to what Hobo was kind of saying, you might have got respectfully maybe like one other album out of FU-SCHNICKENS, but their style didn't age well. So I think overall, if we talk about today, yeah, the leaders of the new school may possibly be the better listened to record now. You know what I mean? But I think if we're putting it head to head, going back to 1991 versus 1991, and the overall production, the flow, I give it to FU-SCHNICKENS based off of that. I'm thinking strictly 1991 versus 1991. If we go by today's standards, then yeah, all day, you know, Busta aged better, leaders aged better. Who got the better flow success all day? Leaders. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who? Hobo, what they say in that room, son?
I mean, they're saying a lot. Dreddy said that somebody should do a mashup of both albums and then you have a fire joint. Malcontent said.
I mean, it wasn't fired separately. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
I'm just. You asked me what the man said, so I'm just.
No. I'm repeating that to Dre. Like, is that what you mean, sir? That it's him.
And then Malcontent said Dinko had bars and Charlie Brown was annoying but spit okay. For sure.
Dinko was decent. I think I like Dinko over Charlie.
Milo used to rap too, right?
Yeah, Milo started his own group too.
He had his own group.
Rumpelstiltskins.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Who was in Rumpelstiltskins?
Milo.
Ooh. My attitude is fucked up and real
That's
shitty.
Milo.
That's my joy.
Yo, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Shout out to Rumpelstiltskin, bro.
Yo, that's crazy.
I'm surprised y'all didn't know that.
No,
They're
I
on
didn't
the
know
album.
that. I did not know
They're
that.
on the album. Hobo, did you know they're on this album?
I did know they were on this album, but I did not make the association.
So that's how long Rumpelstiltskins has been around. If you think, listen, if you don't know what Rumpelstiltskins is, do yourself a favor. Look up My Attitude is Fucked Up. I think it's probably just called My Attitude, right? Because the rest of it is just
I think it's just called Attitude. I think.
Yeah, Attitude. It's a dope song. In the era when it came out, a record like that was like you're trying not to get any kind of radio play. You're trying to get no video play, and it was fire. It was a cool underground joint. And where were they from? I feel like they were from Jersey or something, weren't they? Or am I wrong?
Long Island.
I think from Long Island too.
Rumpelstiltskin?
It might be. I mean, they was
Long
on
Island? Or am I wrong?
I believe so. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let's stay focused for a second.
All right,
That's a nugget. You're scandalous with the nugget. Rumpelstiltskins, if you don't know, now you know. Look it up. It's a fire little joint. Check it out. So let's keep it pushing here. We got 2 votes down for the FU-SCHNICKENS. 1 vote down for Leaders of the New School when we're talking about whose delivery and style was better on these 2 projects. Anybody else want to say?
2. Yeah, 2 for the Leaders. I said Leaders.
You said Leaders? My bad.
The New Year, Jules. Come on.
New Year, Jules.
Boy,
I don't hear everybody at the same time. I'm trying to tell you, it's not always off screen related.
What kind of flowers you got there?
It's not always related. I'm telling you.
Man got that bomb.
Flowers you got there?
There's like 7 people on screen, and there's only 1 host. I can only hear so much. So, okay, well, fair enough. Now that executive producer Triple C has cleared that up, we officially have a tie in the room at the moment. We have Ike and Trip for the delivery on style for Leaders of New School, with 2 votes for FU-SCHNICKENS, Hobo, and Scan. Rest of you guys, what's up? Who do you got?
I'm going to food.
Yes.
I think Mastermind is quick to put his vote down. He said you're going with the FU-SCHNICKENS.
I like this style. But
if you know Mastermind, he's gonna go down with the ship. Mastermind's always gonna go.
I love it. Mastermind sticks to his guns always. I love it
all the time. You are Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic, brother. Like, take it, Rose. Take it. Like,
take it.
Wow.
Fair enough. Mastermind being the first, the one to break up the tie at the moment. We still have room for 1 more here. What's going on? Cool Breeze. What's popping?
Oh, yeah. Stretch it out a bit. Take a little time.
While you're stretching it out there, Breeze, I'll say that the chat room,
please.
voted for FU-SCHNICKENS in the poll.
No kidding. Ooh,
Yes.
that chip food style, son.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with leaders on this one.
Of course.
Just off the
Mm.
strength of my man Busta Rhymes, man.
Right. Just another case.
That's the rhyme.
Just another case. What is it? Zone Coasters,
International Zone Coast.
Zekas. That was my joint.
That's mad.
Okay.
Okay, listen. Cool Breeze officially placed his vote down. It's been interesting. He actually sets the tone for the rest of this game at the moment because we knew it was going to be interesting. Whose delivery / style was better when it came to these two debut projects? The round is officially tied up. It's officially.
Let's go.
We're looking at the scoreboard at the moment. FU-SCHNICKENS finally get one on the board, but Leaders of the New School 2-1 at the moment because they scored earlier tonight. 2-1. It's getting interesting.